What do you think of the tiny headset? Is that your thoughts on it? It must be headset season because I've got another new VR headset to show you. Now, we are back with a very small Air headset. I like the word Air because it makes me think that it's very light, always with that small, sharp unboxing knife. I'll be a little more careful here because the actual retail box, I believe, is underneath here. Pimax, you know we've talked about them before. They're kind of known as the top of the VR industry at a premium price. You want the best visuals you're possibly gonna find in VR. Thousands of dollars in a gaming PC, Pimax is known for that. But I believe this headset is trying to meet in the middle a little bit more. This is the Pimax Dream Air Lighthouse. So keep that in mind. That's gonna mean probably not inside-out tracking, but we will have some external tracking. Ooh. Disclaimer, I don't believe this is a brand new headset. I believe this was sent, I think another creator tried this out and then sent it over here. Pimax Dream Air Quick Guide, cord, what can you do? You know, PC, we're still mostly corded, but a wow light headset and tiny. This actually reminds me of the time I held a big screen, known as the tiniest VR headset in the industry. Interesting, so it's got two wires, that's unusual. Usually you got one that runs through, maybe to save a bit on weight. It's got a wire running to each side. Out of curiosity, obviously the cord's gonna throw this off a little bit if we're measuring it without the cord. A measurement that's not gonna take too much of the weight of the cord. So somewhere in the range of 300 grams if I hold the cord up. If we add the cord, which isn't really that good of a measurement, you're not really gonna have all the cord ever hanging off you, but even with the cord, less than 500 grams, which puts it kind of in the Quest range with the cord. But this front end, being just a few hundred, that is light. Interesting. Tiny little lenses in there. Look like they might have come a little worse for the wear, but I think they're just dirty. Okay, yeah, it looked like they were just real dirty. Those look like they're in pretty good shape. It's weird with this wire in the back, it does make me like, how the heck do I put this thing on? Like it shouldn't really affect anything. Looks like we got adjustable straps. I'm gonna make it kind of big because I have a giant head. I don't know who had this last, but I definitely don't think their head was anywhere near as gigantic as mine. Oh geez, okay. I feel like I may have heard it was Tatiana VR who had it before. That would make sense that I am nowhere near fitting in there. Oh gosh, what if even the wire? I was actually worried for a second the wire wouldn't fit in there. This has gotta be one of the smallest, lightest headsets I have ever felt on my head. Man, it's so light, you don't even hardly notice. Like, I feel like it's not that much heavier than my Ray-Bans that I wear a lot. Interesting. Okay, and then this being the Lighthouse one, I believe it's not gonna need internal cameras for tracking. This is probably the lightest edition out there and possible, but we'll find all that out more when we do some more research here for you. Hey, look at the facial interface comes off. But this is gonna have to be hooked up to a PC, so a lot of it's not gonna be able to happen in here. But I gotta say, even just opening this thing, I'm pretty excited to test this out and see what it's like. Just for reference's sake, let's see what else we have in here. Looks like we got power adapters, other cables and things to help hook it up with. Looks kind of similar to your typical Pimax setup if you caught the last couple videos. So we're gonna take this thing away and get it on a PC and get it going, test it out, tell you all about it. Give me some time, we will be back. So for now, we got a Lighthouse to get this working, but we do not have controllers that will work with it yet because the other Pimax controllers all utilize inside-out tracking, not Lighthouse tracking. We are working on getting another set, but because of that right now, we're testing this out with the racing rig in Project Cars because it's one of the things we have a control for. And I've got to say, jumping in this off the bat, as soon as we got the IPD adjusted, I cannot believe how freaking good this thing looks in here. For being such a tiny headset, you do see where the field of view ends on the sides on the top, but in a racing sim, you don't really need that vertical FOV to be super high because like I can see the roof, I can see my legs, that's fine. The side to side, I do miss it a little when I try to look in my mirrors. We're just gonna make our own shortcut here because I just screwed up royally and I killed somebody.
That's fine.
Talking and driving is hard enough.
That's not gonna hold up in court.
This, with the OLED screens, the clarity of the lenses, it is shockingly good looking. And to have such a light headset on your face, so little of your face covered, like I'm sure even from a content creator perspective, you're actually seeing most of my face, my mouth's really just covering my eyes. It's shockingly good. The one thing that I'm always dealing with though, this cord. I definitely wanna have one of my vertical systems that I made from the past, or even one of the, you know, the VR wire people ones or something to hold this above me, because when I have it behind me, there's just no way with my head turning and that bumping in to the back of the chair and everything, there's just no way to make that comfortable. Playing a racing game like this that's so realistic and trying to talk at the same time, it's almost reminds me of like Hot Ones. It's putting you under real duress while you're trying to have a conversation. Gosh, it looks so good in here. Like right now, this sim racing versus the Pimax Crystal Super OLED that I've been using, I don't feel like I'm losing much of an experience having such a smaller headset on. And the audio is one thing I can't believe as far. I need to obviously play more. I'm only playing a car game, but I can't believe even in the menus and Steam VR and stuff, like these little speakers sound shockingly good for what they are. And I thought because the Pimax Crystal Super came with those other little speakers that I thought were kind of tinny and I instantly replaced them with the bigger speakers, I feel like these, I can't believe how good they're sounding so far. Now, obviously the side-by-side will be if I get back into the Pimax Crystal Super with the bigger speakers, the OLED screen, and test it, and then of course the QLED with a wider field of view. But right now, this is so doable. The colors are popping so nicely. The binocular overlap feels better. I don't have an actual measurement on that yet, but it feels like both my eyes are pretty much seeing everything instead of it feeling like one eye at a time is seeing something better. It is shocking how good this looks for such a tiny headset. And that is coming from someone who has not gotten to try the big screen or the big screen beyond too. So those are kind of specializing in the same thing, but the specs on this headset are crazy high for how small it is. This is a shockingly immersive experience. This wire though is an issue. I keep like putting it up there because then I can at least turn my head freely, which makes me want to just have one of my systems on me to just keep it above my head. We'll report back as I do more testing, but I've got to say, even right now, I am very shocked at how good this is, and I just kind of want to keep playing for a while. But we should have controllers and stuff by tonight, so we'll get back to you with more. We are back after spending some time with the dream, racing sims, flight sims only. So this is the $2,000 model that does not come with controllers. I tried to get my hands on some controllers, but I haven't been able to yet. I did get a hold of Lighthouses so I could at least try the sim racing and stuff. Real quick, before we get too far, and I wanna make a disclaimer though, this is basically a bit more of a first impressions than a full review because I haven't gotten to try it with controllers and all the games and all that, and it just looks like it's gonna be a minute before I can get my hands on those. But I had a couple other headsets here real quick, so I wanted to show you a couple things. Because you're seeing on camera, you're not really seeing in person, it is hard to understand how small and light this is. Like if you see this thing side by side, even with a Quest, this headset in your hands is tiny. Or if something like the Pimax Crystal, I mean, obviously, huge difference. But the wild thing is they've taken the OLEDs, the resolution, they've basically put this in here. Now, we usually start with the cons here first on the channel, so let's talk about the cons. $2,000 for this model. That is not a small price for anyone to pay. But if you are someone who's rocking a PC with a 5090, probably are looking for a top premium experience, and this does deliver. Before we get to the delivery, other cons. This wire in the back, I see why they did it the way they did it, the way it runs to each display. It is noticeable. I was telling you that in the racing sim, it's always back there. You're always dealing with it. I actually wished I still had my ceiling solution, because just getting that off the back of your head feels a lot better having it pipe rather than having it down and kind of interacting with your seat and stuff. Not really much can be done about that. It's not like this can be swapped, so it is something to think about. And because there's so much power running through this thing, this gets warm. It doesn't get hot, it gets warm enough that it kind of just freaked me out when I'd like lean my head or something, feel this on my neck, and I felt the warmth on this box. Something to consider. And although it does have this strap and it is adjustable, it is not the most comfortable in the back, but the headset's so light, you don't really notice that too much. And of course, the idea with this one being a lower price, doesn't come with controllers, doesn't have inside-out track. You're getting the most accurate tracking for people who want that with Lighthouses and sim racing. They want the best setup. You're getting all that, you're saving a little money, but like for me, I didn't have Lighthouses, I didn't have controllers, so I never got to play around with those things in this headset, and I don't know if I'll get to. And I have controllers that came with the Pimax, but those are the inside-out ones that don't necessarily work for this. So the Slam headset might also be a better fit for me personally with this, especially because I bounce headsets around between rooms here at the studio, between different computers. I'm always moving around, so I don't have, that one solid racing setup that always stays in the same spot. The Lighthouse is always around it. I end up moving stuff around a lot. That said, my goodness, you put this thing on for the first time, and I was rocking it on a laptop with a 5080 in it, which a 5080 is high end, but that is still a laptop, so you're not gonna be able to push this thing as hard as you can. And even that, it was shocking. The OLED screens, the field of view, I mean, you say it's gonna be smaller, but if you look at these things side by side, OLED Pimax here, it doesn't seem like you're losing nearly as much as you would think you are. The lenses are still big. They still pack a lot of screen in there. Pancake optics have just revolutionized the world of VR. They really have. You can have something even as small looking as that to put your eye into, and you can see into a whole other world. You are gonna notice if you're used to an ultra wide or something, you're losing a little bit of field of view, but it felt like it was just as much as a Quest, if not way more. This facial interface was comfortable, breathable, that was nice, but light comes right through it. I mean, if I was in a bright room, light was coming through, light bleeds, so you wanna be in a nice darker space with this. But the visuals, how light it is on your head, like I said, there is some comfort issues to deal with. Even from a content creator perspective, VR, like gaming and stuff channels, is hard because you're not making eye contact with your audience. But this headset, it really kind of looks like you're just wearing a pair of goggles. Like a lot more of your face is visually out there and showing. So on camera and stuff, it just doesn't look nearly as crazy. And I feel like when I showed this to other people, there was a lot less that resistance of, oh my gosh, what is that giant thing? I don't want it in my head, I'm gonna look stupid. Like they saw this and they were like, oh, this is like small and simple. Like this felt familiar enough to like a pair of ski goggles. It seemed like nobody had any resistance to trying this thing on. Now, if you're someone who does Quest, wireless, just plays VR on there, that's pretty much your whole life, this headset's not for you. This is premium PCVR, flight sim racers, racing sims, people who do those long hours. I actually let one friend try to check it out, and he's the one that does like 24-hour races, and he's like that for sitting in the car for that long, just the comfort that he had with this. Even just things like breathing out of your nose and not feeling it hit a headset and a facial interface and bouncing back, just having that freedom there. It's amazing the little differences, the subtle things about a headset like this you notice when you're used to something, you know, bigger and chunkier and heavier. It feels like the future of headsets if they can figure out the batteries and all that for them to be this small and light. So feels like a glimpse in the future. Again, like I said, we're not gonna be able to do a full review. We're not getting to do everything with this headset we want to yet. So I'm hoping to follow up with more with all of you, but that means drop questions if you have them in there about this one. We're hoping to get this and the Slam model kind of side by side. I'll talk to you more about the other Pimax headsets too, but I've been really enjoying this foray into high-end PCVR, especially as I've gotten a little fatigued of some of what we deal with on the Quest with, you know, shorter experiences, lower end stuff. Getting to go back and see the high end of what VR can still do is pretty awesome. So let me know your questions down below in the comments, what more you want to know. If you are on the fence about one of these right now, it is still expensive, but I want this to be my PCVR headset personally. Even though I love what this does and everything, I was surprised at how even the audio coming out of here still sounded pretty good. Obviously not this good, but still quite good coming out of here. The visuals, the trade-offs of the comfort and stuff for me makes this worth it, in my opinion. Got a long ways to go to play with the other ones and come back to you with all that. So let me know your thoughts down below, but I just want to say thank you once again for being here with me. And I'll see you in another reality.